Hey there, Aries. Welcome to your reading for mid-July 2023. We're just going to jump right in here. You have this a powerful move and this storyteller card. This a powerful move card is kind of like 5D chess. You know, it's like, everyone around you is playing checkers, but you're playing chess. So I feel there's a level up or something going on for you here where you're making some big improvements. I would be, with the storyteller card, I would make sure, especially, not only that, but also with the magician, I would make sure that you're telling the story that you want your life to look like, that you want to hear. So I would make sure to kind of use positive words. Make sure to watch your language at this time. Might also be a good time for you to, journal about your future, to, script your future, basically. And, scripting is like, I don't care. It's free, as I always say, whether I don't, I have, to me, it's worked amazingly. I script every single day and have for years. And it's like completely, I've scripted things that I've attracted into my life. So does it work? I don't, is it magical? I don't think it's magical. I don't know. But what I would say is it's worked for me and it's free. So why not try it? People like to say like, oh, these things don't work and blah, 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 but they never try it. So, like I say, and it's free. It doesn't cost any money, except it costs like a little bit of time, like 10, 15 minutes a day, right? Big deal. But I would definitely, I think it would be a great time for you to do that and to write, scripting is very simple. I just like pick one thing that I want to focus on every single day and I just write as if it's already happened, right? Things that I don't have, things that I want in life, things that I want to see. And I just write it in as much detail as possible. So, that's all you have to do, here, Aries. And that's exactly what I would do if I were you. And I'm not even you when I do it. So there you go. You have the Seven of Wands here, and this is why. Seven of Wands is a card of belief. It is a card of conviction. It says when you know that something is going to be successful, then it will be successful. So it's a card of like having very deep beliefs about the things that you want, and the deeper you believe it, this is something where you don't want to just believe it deep down in your soul. You want to believe it, deep down into your DNA. So this is when something becomes a part of you, a belief. And I really feel your beliefs are going to be very important at this time. Some of you, by the way, well, let's look at this. You have the Magician pointing to the Two of Cups. You definitely could be attracting love into your life. Definitely could be an earth sign. I'm pretty sure you always kind of get heavy earth in your readings, and you have the Knight of Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles, the Devil could be Capricorn, and you have the King of Pentacles as well. So definitely could be an earth sign. Doesn't have to be. Could be any sign. They could have a lot of earth in their chart or something, but I feel like you're attracting it. Some of you might already feel this as well, as in you could feel as if someone is coming in, or kind of, I can't really explain it, but I think if you know. So you could feel as if someone is already entering into your life, and I definitely feel that is true. I also feel you're changing on a deep level. He has a snake wrapped around his waist, and it represents the Ouroboros, which represents reinvention. And then you have the Ace of Wands, and the Ace of Wands is like a very passionate new beginning. So I feel for a lot of you, you could be kind of having a passionate new beginning at this time with this card. And I do feel there's like a lot of success coming in for you here as well. This castle here represents out with the old, in with the new. So I feel for a lot of you, you're just about to have a big new beginning. I kind of feel like this is it right here, the Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles is like everything you want and desire in your life. It is kind of the tree of life. So again, it represents everything you want and desire to have in your life. But let's see. I'm going to clarify this, by the way, with the Lenormand. You have the Bear card. The Bear is kind of a card of education. A lot of people read this card as like a card of power, becoming a boss, being a leader, things like that, strength, stability, all that other stuff. To me, it's like more of a card of education. Normally, there's a mother bear with two baby bears on a traditional bear Lenormand card, and she's kind of giving those baby bears a leg up, in life. She's teaching them her knowledge. So it can represent learning. It can also represent an overbearing energy in your life, as in a person or a situation that is overbearing. And the Seven of Wands, which it is clarifying, is a card of boundaries. So, if you have a person who's being overbearing, you might want to put up some boundaries. With the Magician, you have the Anchor. The Anchor is a card of stability and kind of anchoring yourself in place. I also feel, again, the Anchor can represent something long-term coming into your life. So, again, I really feel you could be attracting a very long-term relationship or something that just lasts for a long time. Even going this way, Ten of Pentacles to me is the best love card in the deck. It's, everything you want and desire in a relationship. So, definitely very good. With the Ace of Wands, you have the Scythe. Yes, the Scythe is literally about cutting something out. Again, out with the old, in with the new. So you're clearly cutting something out that is falling apart. The thing with Ace of Wands is, again, that castle in the background is crumbling. It's falling apart. So you might be cutting something out of your life at this time that just no longer has any structure. And again, it makes a perfect sense based off the astrology. There's a lot of astrology. For years, we've had all this stuff in Capricorn. We had Saturn in Capricorn in 2016. We have Pluto retrograding into Capricorn. This is the breakdown of structure. It's like the beginnings of it. Pluto entering into Aquarius is a time where I feel we'll be rebuilding. I don't know if that's the right word to use, but maybe coming up with better ideas on things to do in life. But again, at the beginning, it always looks a little bit scary. Banks collapsing, everything that you see going on in the world right now. But I think as we move through it, things will start to improve. We'll come up with better ideas. So on a personal level, again, we are it's very simple, but we're just removing bad ideas, people, places, and things that are bad from our life, and we're getting into good things, or coming up with better ideas, building new things. You have this bad investment card. It says not investing in the right things, people, or bad money management. I saw this card and I did say, I was saying to myself, be careful of some sort of investment. So if you have someone, I would make sure to do your research. Even the 10 of Pentacles at the end here, 10 of Pentacles is a card of hidden or secret information. I think a lot of what we'll see, during this time as well, with cryptocurrency, right, is a lot of scams more. We've already seen a lot of them, right? So I would make sure to do your research. And my other concern with the astrology is Neptune moving into Aries in 2026. So this isn't even just for right now, but as an Aries, and if you're watching this, you're probably an Aries. When we get to 2026 and then throughout Neptune and Aries, I would just make sure you're doing your research. Neptune and Aries is a little bit like follow the leader, but you could just be following some random dude online who lives in his grandma's basement and is like, oh yeah, this, pizza coin's going to go up 10,000x or something like that. So again, I think we're going to see a lot of this over the next few years, people falling for scams. So don't be one of those people. Make sure to do your research, 10 of Pentacles. Make sure if something sounds too good to be true, it probably is, right? But 10 of Pentacles also rewards research. Here's the thing, not to go on this rant, right? But you have 10 of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles. And not to skip too far ahead here, but, we have all this energy in Taurus as well. Jupiter in Taurus, Uranus in Taurus. I know it's not sexy, but, Taurus energy is slow and steady. If you just listen to your cousin who tells you oh yeah, this dog coin's going to go up 1 billion%, you are going to fail because that's not what Uranus and Taurus wants. But if you do a bunch of research and if you can come up with your own arguments as to why it's going to be very successful, and then you invest in something, you'll probably be successful. I'm not telling you to go do that. I'm just saying people who do their research are going to be the ones that end up successful because, again, then you're working with the energy. And again, I know no one wants to hear that. I know that it's much better. Trust me, I come from the marketing world and, I understand that people want click button solutions. They want the easy button. That's what sells. So that's why people buy weight loss pills and things like that, right? But what I would say here is that is not the time we're in. We are in the time where we need to pay attention to slow and steady. And it's you might be thinking oh my God, how much time do I have to wait and all this other stuff. But it's actually, if you work with the energy, things are going to happen for you very quickly. And everyone else that is out there looking for quick click button solutions right now, they are just going to be the same. So you don't want to be the same by the time we get to the end of this period of time that we're in, right? Rant over. You have this 3 of Cups here. Definitely a celebration coming in for you. I feel like it could be a person. Knight of Pentacles, but someone needs to make a move here is what I feel. There is no movement. There needs to be communication, going this way. I'm telling you right now, either someone has their eye on you or you have your eye on them, and there needs to be someone might not be aware of the other person, or there needs to be communication or something like that. I also feel you could be in the learning stages with a person. You just could be learning about them, or maybe you work with a person and it could be a new person. And, again, I kind of get this thing about learning about the person with that Page of Pentacles and not just falling right in love with this person right away. And, that's what I would be careful of there. I was getting so worked up that I didn't even read these cards. Bad investment. And the other card was time interference. It says time depends on someone else. Look, there you go. Third party outsider. This matter is out of your control. So again, I would be careful of that as well. I would be careful of dating married people I'm getting here, or, anything like that. Again, I've heard 1 billion stories of people who have dated a person who's married. They're oh, but we're separated. And then they always go back to their husband or their wife or whatever. So it's like, don't get caught up in a situation. I think what this part of the reading is trying to say is like, there's someone who's ready right now, and that's what you should be going for, right? Don't be waiting for someone who's like a time waster. And again, I feel like it's this person. It's a new person. So I feel like this could be someone new who has recently kind of entered into your awareness. I'm getting that this could be someone that has entered into your awareness since like the end of last year. And so, maybe it's just a person who's in your awareness. Like, again, maybe you've been working with them or whatever. But you have the Two of Cups here, true love. So definitely a very strong connection. I'm also getting that this could be a person who's part of a friend group or part of a group that you belong to. Three of Cups is a card of a group or your community. So I feel that, that's what's going on here. This whole row right here clearly is talking about communication, and it is saying that there needs to be more communication, which again, I feel like that should be obvious, but I'm not so sure. Based off the comments, sometimes I'm like, do people understand that they have to like communicate with a person that they're interested in, or is this, do people not know that? I don't know. With the Three of Cups, you have this dice card. This deck has some oracle cards in it that are not real Lenormand cards. The dice is a card of a gamble, a risk, taking a risk. So yeah, I would take a risk, do whatever you got to do here. I feel it will pay off big time. I would also be careful of financial risks though, unless you're doing your research, right here. Going to the Ten of Pentacles. Even the Page of Pentacles is a card of studiousness. So it could be like a little bit of a risky time for you, and I think it is for everyone. But if you do your research, then you'll be fine. And with the Knight of Pentacles, you have the Snake. Yes, I would be careful of the past person. Every single person has had either the Snake, the Devil, or the Fox. You have two of them. You have the Snake and the Devil. And again, here's your solution right here is the Seven of Pentacles. So your solution is to, trust the evidence. Seven of Pentacles says, is the juice worth the squeeze? So if you're meeting a new person, it's like when you put energy in, do they return the favor or do they just always leave you hanging? If that's the answer, then not a good person. If they do put in the energy, then obviously it is a good person. So, I think we're in a time, I talk about this all the time. I think we are in a time where we really need to pay attention to the evidence. Why? Because the evidence is obvious, but we still have Neptune and Pisces, which is like the fantasy. In Neptune and Pisces, we get way more attracted to the fantasy. So it doesn't matter. The evidence could be smacking us right in the face, but the fantasy is up here. So we're like, well, I don't know, this looks a lot better than this, even though I can clearly see that this person's, cheating on me with my, my uncle, my cousin, my mom, and my dad at the same time, right? All on camera, right? Putting on OnlyFans or something like that, right? So basically, this is saying when the evidence is smacking you in the face, trust it, even though the fantasy that you might be caught up in is a little bit more sexy or whatever. I don't know. With the Two of Cups, you have the ring, literally marriage. There's something that's perfect for you coming in for you. And again, I hesitate to use the word perfect, but I feel like there could be a very strong connection coming in for you here. And the ring is a card of like a very strong connection. It is, it kind of is better than the Four Wands even. In the tarot, it's a very strong agreement, and it also represents things coming full circle. So again, I feel like there's something much better. This could also be a learning lesson from the past right here. So this could be a person who's trying to communicate with you from the past, and that bear would say, number one, this person's energy is probably overbearing, but number two, it was a lesson that you had to learn. Next, you have this intentions card and this field of dreams card. So it clearly could be a very dreamy connection coming in for you in the near future. I feel like you need to make sure that you understand people's intentions as well. And I feel like you need to trust their actions, like the things that they say. And also, then what do they do when they say something, right? So, don't ignore that stuff is kind of what I'm getting here. You have the Page of Pentacles, the Seven of Pentacles, and the Eight of Wands. Yeah, I feel if you're moving towards someone new, that it's going to probably move very quickly. You have the Eight of Wands here. Eight of Wands, like quick movement, momentum, things building up very quickly as well. So I do feel like there could be just a very quick, solid connection coming in for you here with this energy. I also am getting a lot about learning. Again, I just wouldn't, I really feel just in general with that bad investments card, I feel this Page of Pentacles is saying, do your research on anything that you feel like is wasting your time. It's like if you feel like you're wasting your time on your business, maybe you're putting a lot of work into it, it's not going anywhere. This would say, do your research. You're probably going to find a better way to do things that will speed things up. I think there's a lot, here going on here with not only the Seven of Pentacles, which is saying, is the juice worth the squeeze, but also the Eight of Wands, which talks about speed, momentum, how quickly things happen. And, it's not, I think sometimes, of course, it takes time to build things up in a business or in your career or even in your love life. But if things stay the same speed, or, it's not even maybe about speed, maybe it's about like, where are things going? If things are staying in the same position and not moving forward, right? Then maybe it's time for you to trust the evidence and change the situation, right? If your business hasn't grown, I'm having major deja vu because I'm pretty sure I said this to you recently. Like, if your business hasn't grown in 4 years, that's not necessarily a good thing. If you want to grow your business, it's funny because I always get a lot of comments that people are like, oh, I make $100,000 a year and I'm perfectly happy with that, and I have been for the past 10 years. I'm like, okay, but 10 years ago, $100,000 was worth a lot more than it is today. So you're not making the same amount of money. You're making a lot less. No matter how you slice it. So again, if you're not growing, then that's not necessarily a good thing. And I'm not saying people should have to make a certain amount of money or anything like that. I'm sure someone's going to go there, but I'm just saying, so it's like, what does the evidence say? And could you speed things up, or could you improve things with the Eight of Wands? And I would pay attention to that. I would also say, again, I'm getting something here about movement. Like, are you in the same place? Like I said, I just gave you the example of 100,000 versus 100,000. It's like, yeah, okay, maybe that sounds like the same number in your head, but it's not. 100,000 10 years ago is way different than what 100,000 is today. So, I think you need to kind of look at that. Same thing in love as well. It's like, you can, especially with Neptune and Pisces, you can get caught in the fantasy. Someone can tell you all day long, oh, I'm going to be leaving my wife or getting divorced. But it's like, if they've been saying that for 6 years, then, maybe it's time to make a change, right? With the Page of Pentacles, you have the book. You cannot freaking make this up. This is a card of hidden or secret information. I think I said something about that at the beginning. It's literally a card of learning. It's a card of mysteries. It doesn't just say, let things be mysterious. It says, if something is a mystery to you, you don't have the answers, go and find them. Plain and simple, right? Do your research. With the Seven of Pentacles, are you kidding? Yeah, like I said, snake, fox, devil. Every single person practically has had these cards. So, we do have Venus going retrograde on the 22nd. I've said to everyone else, I would be careful of X's during this time. It just seems to be one of those retrogrades, Aries, where, I don't know, I think it could be bringing people back. So there you go. With the Eight of Wands, you have the tree. The tree is a card of security and stability, something that lasts a long time. So I think you are much more focused here and also here on building something that is going to last for a long time. This could be like a lifelong relationship. It could be a lifelong business. Ten of Pentacles is building and leaving a legacy as well. So, really, really good stuff. You have this card that says, when it's time to say goodbye. Are you kidding? I feel for some of you, it is time to say goodbye to something. Ace of Wands, out with the old, in with the new. You also have this card that says, if the dogs come circling round. So, again, I feel for a lot of you that there are some warning signs going on in your life around a situation. It might not even be that big of a deal, but something just might be unstable, with that Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands is my favorite card in the tarot, really, because it's just that one thing we need to really motivate us. I look at it as a spark of life. I look at it as just that spark of inspiration that sometimes we need to get motivated to change in life or to be more successful. And again, for some of you, I feel it's time for you to let go of something. You have with the Ten of Pentacles, the King of Pentacles, and the devil. The devil, I would be careful of a past toxic person, especially if they're putting like time constraints and all this other stuff as well. I feel like someone's a really bad juggler as well. You could be dealing with a person, maybe they're not cheating on you. And again, I kind of have that marriage thing pop into my head. You could be dealing with a married person or whatever, and you know about it, and maybe they're separated or whatever, right? Which I think as long as they're separated, it's not that big of a deal. But again, I have a problem with people who are separated because it's like they always go back. I've seen it happen so many times in my life. It is just crazy. So it's like, trust the evidence. Somebody, people always love to come to me and they tell me these crazy stories about a person that they waited for and, all this other BS and how they got married and they eventually did leave their wife or their husband and all this other stuff. I'm like, yeah, but here's the thing. It's like, you don't want to be the exception to the rule, basically. I think people think, like, come up with these ideas in their heads that, like, oh, I'll wait for this person for 20 years, and because I waited for them, we're gonna have this this undying love, right? But it's like, okay, yeah, but or you could spend that time finding something else. It's like there's plenty of fish in the sea. Really, I find that it's not worth waiting for people. I'm sorry if that sounds like harsh or mean, but definitely not 20 years. It's like if you want to give a person like a year or something like that, I think that's perfectly acceptable as long as they're making moves. But that's the other thing as well. It's like, are they making moves? Are they making changes that prove that they're moving in a direction towards you? That's what I'd be careful of. Just because, again, I hear so many crazy stories from people that they're like, I waited 20 years and now I'm all alone. No one wants to date me, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't know what to say. King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles is a card of success and abundance. It is a card of a comfort zone, but, I kind of like this King of Pentacles in your reading. I feel like you're building a lot more financial abundance in your life, mostly because of this right here. The Ten of Pentacles, which is like building and leaving a legacy. I also feel like there could be a person who you're building and leaving a legacy with. It's probably a new person, probably an earth sign, could be any earth sign, could also be a person with a ton of earth in their chart. But Ten of Pentacles is a really good card. Everybody gets it nowadays because, again, I think there's a lot of astrology that's encouraging people to build and leave a legacy, but definitely a very good connection here. With the Ten of Pentacles, you have this Trumpet card again. This is a oracle card in this deck. It says victory, resurrection, awakening, decisiveness, inner calling. See, I think you need to make a decisive decision. Sometimes I think that's what these weird, if you're in a weird relationship like this where you're waiting and waiting and waiting, I think that's what these relationships maybe trigger inside of us. I think they trigger us to be decisive and to be the person that makes a choice, right? Instead of kind of being like a fish on the hook, sometimes, and that's my problem with these relationships where someone's married. If you're dealing with that, is you're just like a fish on the hook. It's like they're keeping you waiting, but it's like what you don't realize is they have something else that is also emotionally fulfilling them. They are married, that's why they don't leave. It's like it's a comfort zone for them, so again, I would just be careful if you're dealing with that. Somebody clearly is. With the King of Pentacles, you have this bouquet. This is like a gift. I feel like someone wants to shower you with affection and gifts, and again, it's probably a new person and probably everything you want. So I would definitely say something new. I also feel that for a lot of you in work or business, I feel there's like a really powerful move. You have that power move card that you could be making. It's like you could be branching out in your business, coming up with new ways to grow your business. I feel like I always say this to you now. Seems to be a big focus for you at this time. So that's what I focus on. People always say, oh, you're repeating yourself. I'm like, okay, yeah, but it's like, how often does your life change? It does not change that often. Usually you are working on something for an extended period of time. If I were you, Aries, the thing that I'd be working on, and I'm probably going to say it next week too, so get over it, is I would be educating yourself on business or career, because, if you have a business or career, even if you're retired, I would be educating yourself on finances, investments, things like that, because when we work with the energy, we get the rewards. With the devil, you have the crossroads. Yes, pick the new path. Get away from the devil if you have a devil in your life. I don't think that message is for all of you, but for those of you that are dealing with a person, they might not even be that toxic. They might just not want to leave a comfort zone. Then I would be careful of that. And again, this might be something where it's like long distance and you haven't met and you're not meeting. It could be, again, that they're married. It could just be who the hell knows what, but I would be very careful of that. We are going to pull 5 main themes. You have the speculation card here. This is actually a very good card, and it is a card of investments, like speculating on an investment. So again, if you're doing your research on an investment and you know why it's a good idea, then it will be successful. If you're just investing in something just to invest in it, I feel like you're going to have a bad time. You have this choice card, definitely an important decision for you to make. And again, I feel like the choice is simple. Like, what is giving you the energy? That is Mars and Libra, that card. It's like, if you put energy into something, are you getting back? If the answer is yes, keep doing it. You have this enthusiasm card. Yeah, I would move towards enthusiasm. Again, you might find that if you're in certain situations that you feel kind of down, I would be careful of those situations. There might be other situations in your life where you feel up, and I would double down on those situations, whatever they are. Next, you have the harmony card. Yeah, I feel like there is a lot more peace and harmony coming into your life. Could be a Libra coming in for you as well, by the way. And finally, you have this ostentation card. See, I feel like you've learned like what's real and what's fake. This is real up here. This is fake down here if it wants to focus. Real, fake. So I feel like you have a better idea on like how to tell the difference between true situations and fake situations. But pretty interesting, Libra, or here, Aries, sorry. I was saying Libra because there's like a Libra coming up here, but thank you for being here and definitely enjoy your week.